What's going on YouTube? Cunning Games back here again. So this one is bound to offend a lot of people, guys. So today we got Jordan Peterson takes on transgender radicals with Piers Morgan. Now guys, before everyone starts blowing up my comments calling me transphobic and stuff, I'm all for people deciding what they want to be, guys. Like dead ass. Like you shouldn't be ever trying to put people down, but we'll see what Jordan Peterson has to say, because maybe people that are radical are trying to like change people or something like that. So let's get straight to it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, go check out my Patreon, go check out my merch, and let's get it, baby.
Right, we're also in a very strange place where a lot of high-profile women will not say what they think a woman is.
Yeah.
Because they are... Ketanji Brown Jackson, the new member of the Supreme Court, in her nomination hearings was asked a question. This is what she said.
As you say, a hot topic today, and could certainly be litigated. So I'm not in a position to say more about whether or not it's actually one of the unenumerated.
It was a riveting moment, because you're going to be on the Supreme Court of the United States of America. You're a woman. You're the first black woman on the court, and that in itself, I know you've raised eyebrows about why did Joe Biden go out there and say we need to have a black woman? Why not just say we want the best person available, and then if she's the best person, get her on the court, which I completely agree with. But for her not to be able to commit to explaining what she thinks a woman is. And then I had a moment on this show where Macy Gray, the singer, did stick her neck out, and she said this.
I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact. Like, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got a surgery.
With chilling predictability, Macy Gray stuck to her guns for a couple of days, and then the onslaught was so overwhelming against her, she had to go on national television in America, issue a groveling apology for everyone that she'd hurt, with this statement of what many would think is just a statement of biological fact. How have we got to this place where women are terrified of saying what a woman is, and women who do say what they think it is, i.e. there are clear biological distinctions between a man and a woman, they get destroyed?
Well, we've accepted this preposterous hypothesis that your identity is only subjectively defined. And as I've tried to point out on some of my lectures, the only people who think their identity is subjectively defined are 2-year-olds. And I mean that technically, because 2-year-olds are egocentric, which means they can't bring their identity in alignment with a social norm, which also means that 2-year-olds can't play with other children. They can play beside them, but they can't play with them. That doesn't happen until you're 3. And what happens when you're 3, if you're reasonably well socialized or start to move towards that, is that you learn how to negotiate a social identity. And then identity becomes, obviously it has some roots in your subjectivity and in your biology for that matter, but a sophisticated identity is not only socially negotiated, as the constructivists know perfectly well, but it's got a dynamism about it because it has to be constantly renegotiated. Like, as we're having a conversation here, to some degree, we're renegotiating our mutual identities because we learn something from each other, and so we transform. We're also trying to figure out to some degree who each of us is in this situation, and then we're also trying to learn, can we play together towards some productive end? And you might ask, well, what do you mean play? And so
basically, psychological warfare, as I like to call it, guys.
Well, we're trying to have an interesting conversation. That's a form of play. And if you won't negotiate, and I won't negotiate, how in the world are we going to have a conversation?
Well, this is the whole problem with the transgender debate, particularly in things like sport, is that there's simply no willingness on the part of the transgender part of this debate to have any conversation about potential unfairness created by what's happening. And I say, you've got to have the conversation.
Yeah, but we talked about that earlier. The people who really push this, or the ideas that govern this, was a better way of thinking about it, this is a very difficult thing to understand. You think there's such a thing as reasonable conversation. That's not on the table for the radicals.
No, it's not.
See, your notion of reasonable conversation is nothing but your insistence that your ethos is dominates.
And their response is always, well, then you're transphobic.
Yeah, well,
Or you're racist, or
you're a biological essentialist or something.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind, guys. And before all the conservatives hit me up or say, "Oh, you're a PC," I've been called PC all the time. I don't really understand why. I'm giving my honest opinion, guys. I'm not holding back. You come talk to me in person, I'll say the same shit. But guys, let me try and friggin' articulate this well. Okay, so I think that, like, as a man or whatever woman, you can do whatever you want. You can, like, change your gender identity. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to label you as a man or woman. It doesn't really matter. You can be whatever you want. Apache, helicopter. If there's no room for discourse, that's fine. You can be whatever you want. But I will say one thing, guys. I think that aside from this, a lot of the times people have bad mental health problems. And I'm not saying transgender is a mental health problem, but, you know, this is the same kind of discourse that people have when it comes to, like, no, I'm not talking about antidepressant pills. They 100% help you. Guys, it is the craziest thing in the world. Everyone nowadays has some sort of mental health issue. It's insane, guys. I see it, and it's the most prevalent thing in the world. Whether it's narcissistic disorder trying to bring people down, whether it's, like, you know what I mean, depression or anxiety or whatever. Like, some people would say people are transgender, like, whatever. Some of those people would have mental health issues, 100%, guys. If you're not happy, and what I mean to explain like this, guys, in a fair way, when you're not happy with what you are, guys, like, when I was 15, 16, I wasn't happy with the way I looked. So I'm like, it's like Build-A-Bear. You're trying to build your character as a man, right? Especially I'm talking as a man. You know, you can build your character, guys, in whichever way you want. Because I don't want this shit to be motivational, guys. I don't want this shit to be putting anyone down. Be transgender, be whatever you want. But, guys, just know this. Mental health is the biggest thing you guys should be aware of. 99% of people nowadays, probably 100% of people have serious mental health illness. At least 50% of people. Let's scale that back, guys. At least 50% of people have serious underlying mental health illness, and this is what leads them into things like left wing, right wing. This is what leads them into sometimes transgenderism, knowing that they're not happy with themselves, guys. It's almost like, to me, guys, a really low thing. I don't know. See what the big fucking deal is. It's almost like, to me, it's an insecurity. You know, like if some guy has bad hair, or someone has a big nose or ears, or else they're too short. Some insecurity. If you're a woman, your nose is weird, or, you know, you're too tall or whatever. It all boils down to insecurities, guys. You know, which is a mental health disorder. You know, the sooner you guys can get over these insecurities, the better your life is going to be. Your life will be perfect if you guys can get over these insecurities that people try and push on you. You're not even talking about them yourself. Other people are forcing these insecurities on you. They're making you seem like your life is worthless if you don't have the sick car, if you don't have the sick money. To me, the most beneficial person in the world is a person with abundance mindset and that's disciplined and hardworking. That's it, guys. You only have to have those three things. Even if you're dead ass broke, it doesn't matter. If you have an abundance mindset and you're not in scarcity, it's everything to me. I've said that since I was 20 years old, guys. I've known that since I was 20 years old. Just because someone's old doesn't mean that they know what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? Philosophy-wise, guys. Don't ever take, you know, people's opinions. Oh, you're transgender, you're a bad person. That's not it at all, guys. That's completely cap. Like, you know, on the other hand, I don't think you're a good person if you're a transgender. It doesn't matter, guys. It's about the legacy, you know, what you leave behind, guys. Not about whether you want to be man or woman. Do you know what I mean? Whether there's discourse or not. Just know that to not be a mentally weak person, you know, you have to strive towards these things, guys. You know, you have to strive towards greatness. Don't even worry about this shit, guys. People are worrying about the wrong shit always, man. You know what I'm saying? Love you guys all, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.